I think you're crazy, dear. Why go for a walk in this weather? Lately, you've had strange ideas. You dragged me to the beach, even though you've never wanted to go in our 44 years of marriage. You picked Fécamp without asking me, and now you suddenly want to walk on the hottest day of the year, even though you hardly ever walk. Take D'Apreville with you since he'll do whatever you want. I'm going back to Nap. Madame de Cadaur asked her old friend, "Will you come with me, Monsieur D'Apreville?" He smiled and said, "I'll go wherever you go." Monsieur de Cadaur joked, "Fine, go get a sunburn," and went back to the hotel to rest. Alone, the old lady and her friend set off. She whispered to him, "Finally. Finally." "You're crazy," he whispered back. "You're taking a big risk. If that man—" She got scared. "Go. Henri, don't call him that man." Okay," he said quickly, "if our son figures it out, he'll have power over us. We've gone 40 years without seeing him. What's wrong with you today?" They walked along the long street from the sea to the town, then turned right toward Étretat. The bright sun shone on the white road as they walked slowly in the hot weather. She held her friend's arm and stared ahead with a sad look. "You haven't seen him again?" she asked. "No, never." "Really?" "Let's not talk about it. We both have families and worry about what others think." She didn't respond, lost in memories of their youth and the pain she endured when their secret was discovered. She remembered the tough journey to the south, where she suffered and lived in fear in a small house by the Mediterranean Sea. She stayed secluded in the garden, too scared to leave. She often lay under an orange tree, wishing she could go to the sea, but she was afraid someone might recognize her. She waited anxiously, dreading what was to come. Then came that terrible night, full of pain and cries. She could still see her lover's pale face, the doctor, and the nurse. The sound of her baby's weak cries haunted her. The next day she saw and held her son for the only time. After that, he was taken away, hidden from her. All she knew was that he grew up with peasants in Normandy, got married, and received money from his unknown father. Her life felt empty without him, always thinking about the son she never saw again. For 40 years, she longed to see and hug him again. She couldn't imagine him grown up. She always remembered the tiny baby she held for just a day. She often told Monsieur D'Apreville, "I can't take it any more, I must see him." But he always stopped her, fearing their son would use her weakness against her. "What's he like?" she asked. "I don't know." "I haven't seen him either," he replied. "Really? Not knowing your own son and treating him like a disgrace is terrible." They walked on the dusty road, feeling the hot sun and climbing a never-ending hill. "It feels like punishment," she said. I never had another child, and I couldn't resist the urge to see him after 40 years. Men can't understand. I might not live much longer, and what if I never see him? I think about him every day, feeling guilty. Maybe I should have risked everything to find him and show him my love. I would have been happier, but I was scared. I've suffered so much. Those poor abandoned children must hate their mothers." She suddenly stopped because she couldn't stop crying. The valley was empty, silent, and hot, with only grasshoppers chirping in the yellow grass. Sit down," he said, leading her to the side of the road. She sat with her face in her hands, crying deeply. Her hair was messy, and she cried while he stood there, unsure of what to do. He softly said, "Be brave." I will," she said, wiping her eyes, and they continued walking slowly. They reached some trees hiding a few houses where they heard a blacksmith working. They saw a wagon near a small cottage with two men working on a horse. Monsieur de Préval asked them, "Where is Pierre Benedict's farm?" "Take the left road near the inn, then go straight. It's the third house past Poret's. There's a small tree near the gate, you can't miss it." They turned left. She walked slowly, feeling weak, and prayed with every step, "Go, please help." Monsieur de Préval, feeling nervous and pale, told her firmly, "If you can't control your feelings, you'll give yourself away. Try to calm down." "I can't," she said. "My child. I can't believe I'm going to see my child." They walked along a narrow country lane lined with trees. Suddenly, they reached a gate with a small spruce tree next to it. "This is it," he said. She stopped and looked around. The courtyard had apple trees, and on the other side were buildings like stables and barns. For calves and black hens were around. They went in, and a big black dog started barking loudly from a barrel. There were beehives on the wall. Monsieur de Préval called out, "Is anyone home?" A young girl, about 10 years old, appeared in the doorway, looking shy and cautious. What do you want?" the girl asked. "Is your dad home?" "No." Where is he?" "I don't know." "And your mom?" "Gonna get the cows." Will she be back soon?" "I don't know." Then the lady, worried her friend might make her leave, said quickly, "I won't leave until I see him." "We'll wait," said Monsieur de Préval. As they turned, they saw a woman carrying heavy pails. She had a limp and looked poor and worn out. "Here's Mom," the girl said. The woman glared at the strangers suspiciously, then went inside without a word. She looked old and had a tough, wrinkled face, like many country people. Monsieur de Préval called her back. Sorry, ma'am, but could we buy 2 glasses of milk?" She grumbled when she came back, setting down her pails. "I don't sell milk," she said. We're very thirsty," he said, "and she's tired. Can we get something to drink?" The woman looked uncertain, then decided to give them some. She brought out 2 bowls of milk, and the girl brought chairs for them. "You're from Fécamp?" she asked. Yes, Monsieur de Préval said, "we're there for the summer." Can we buy chickens from you every week?" he asked after a pause. She hesitated, then said, "I think so." "You want young ones, right?" What do you pay for them in the market?" De Préval, who didn't know, asked his friend, "How much do chickens cost in Fécamp?" 4 francs and 4 francs 50 centimes, she said, wiping her tears. The farmer's wife, surprised, asked, "Is she sick?" "Why is she crying?" He hesitated, then said, No, but she lost her watch. It's upsetting her. If someone finds it, please let us know." Mother Benedict didn't answer, finding it a strange response. Suddenly she said, "Oh, here's my husband." Only she saw him facing the gate. De Préval and Madame de Cadour were startled. A man, tired and dragging a cow, walked past them, muttering. Her tears dried as she realized he was her son. De Préval, uncomfortable, asked, "Is he Mr. Benedict?" "Who told you his name?" the wife asked suspiciously. "The blacksmith at the corner," he replied. They all watched the cowhouse door, hearing sounds from inside. The man returned, asking for cider, then disappeared inside again. "Let's go, Henri," Madame de Cadour said, distraught. De Préval helped her up and guided her out, leaving money behind. Outside she sobbed, "Yo." Oh,
Is that what you've made of him?
he, pale, said I did my best. His farm is worth a lot. They walked back silently. She cried at first, then stopped. Back in Fécamp, Monsieur de Cadour joked about her being sunstruck. They didn't respond. When he asked if they enjoyed the walk, de Préval said it was delightful.